Good afternoon, everyone. The Honorable Mr. Selfi Zebua, as the Child Health Executive of English Education Study Program and also as advisor. The Honorable Mr. Alfred Reva, as the Secretary Test Executive of English Education Study Program. The Honorable Miss Yasmina Amerita Telang Banua as reviewer. And the Honorable all of the audience. Thank you for the time that given to me to present my research proposal. My name is Selfi Krisna Yanti Zebua. The title of my research is Increasing the Students' Writing Skill in Greek Context through Snowball Tongue Method at the 10th grade of SMK Negeri 1 Gunung Sitoli Barat in 2022-2023. English is a second language that can be used by every country in the world. It has the important role, or it has the essential roles to fulfill every needs of human. So in learning English, there are 4 language skills that must be mastered by the students. One of them is writing. Writing is an activity to compose the text by using writing components, paying attention to the unity of ideas, using the correct vocabularies and sentences that can be understood by the reader easily. So according to Harap and Asadi, 20 and 20, writing is an activity that arranges or organizes thought, ideas using a series of sentences in the writing language. So there are several types of writing. One of them is recount text. Ayusonia in Indriani, 20 and 19, argues recount is a text that tells about an event or experience in the past, a lot of things that have happened in the past, either the other personal or historical event. Based on syllabus of 20 and 13 curriculum, basic competence expects the students to be able to analyze and compose recount text by paying attention to social functions, text structure, linguistic elements correctly and according to the context of its use. To achieve the learning goals, the schools have decided the MCC as a benchmark of student success in writing skill, that is, set the score of 70. But based on the researcher observation on 7 March 20 and 23, there is a gap between reality with expectations, where the students have the problems in learning writing, which cause the MCC cannot be achieved by the students. The problems are the students are lack of vocabulary, the lack of students in organizing ideas, the students are not able to use verb and grammar correctly, and the last is the students are not able to identify the generic structure of recount text. It needs the solution to overcome these problems. So therefore, the researcher use Snowball Tongue method as the solution to overcome these problems to increase the students' writing skill in achieving the learning goals. According to Harhab and Asadi, 20 and 20, the Snowball Tongue method is a technique that allows students to make a question on paper, and then the paper is made like a ball and throw it to the other students with the purpose to attract the students in learning and also guide students in writing and also encourage students to be active and participate in teaching learning process. There are some procedures of Snowball Tongue method. Followers is the researcher explain the material about the context, and after that the researcher prepare an example. The researcher explains about Snowball Tongue method, and then the researcher divides students into group consists of 4 until 5 persons, and then the researcher appoints the leader of the group and convey the task that must be done by the student into group, and the researcher prepare the topic about Greek context in the form of lottery. After that, the researcher asks the leader of every group to take it, and then the researcher distribute a sheet or paper for every student, and the researchers ask the students to write the question on the paper based on the topic they get. And after that, the researcher asked the leader of every group to collect the question and make it like a ball, and then throw it for the other group. After that, after all of the questions have been answered by the students, the researchers distribute the students' worksheet for every student and ask the students to compose and develop paragraph based on the answer of questions. And after that, the researcher asks the students to submit their writing and close the class. Conducting the researcher will use the steps of classroom action research to be implemented in the classroom. The researcher believes that by using classroom action research adapted the procedure of Snowball Tongue method, the problems of students in learning writing can be solved, or the learning goals can be achieved. For the next is limitation of the problems. The researcher limits the problem of the research is increasing the students' writing skill in Greek context, especially personal recount, through Snowball Tongue method at the 10th grade of SMK Negeri 1 Gunung Sitoli Barat in 2022-2023. And for the next one is formulation of the problems. The researcher formulated the problems. How does Snowball Tongue method increase the students' writing skill in Greek context at the 10th grade of SMK Negeri 1 Gunung Sitoli Barat in 2022-2023? Based on the formulation of the problems, the objective of the research is to increase the students' writing skill in Greek context through snowball throwing method at the 10th grade of SMK Negeri 1 Gunung Stoli Barat in 2022, 20, and 23. In this research, there are several significances of the research. They are theoretically and practically. For the first is theoretically. The result of the research provide the information of implementing snowball throwing method in teaching learning writing and can be used as a reference in learning writing. The second one is practically. For the first is, especially for the English teacher, it is a method that can be used with the teacher to teach writing and also to solve the students' problem in learning writing. And the second one is, for the students, it can be used or it is as one of the ways to solve their problems in writing. And the last is, for the next researcher, it can be used as a reference to conduct the research in the same field, and also it can be used as a comparative research that relevant with the research. Conducting the researcher will implement the procedure of classroom action research, where the researcher involved directly to increase the student writing skill in real context in the classroom. Agriculture in Syria 20 and 21 stated classroom action research is one of the inquiry research type that has reflective, participative, and collaborative characteristics with the aim to increase the system, method, process, competence, and the situation of teaching learning process. For the next is the procedure of the research. Procedure of the research we will implement in cycle. So according to chemists and Mr. in Sherrick 20 and 21, there are four the steps of classroom action research, namely planning, action, observation, and reflection. The next one is variable of the research. Variable of the research consists of two variables. They are dependent variable and independent variable. Dependent variable is students' writing skill, while independent variable is snowball throwing method. For the next is instruments of the research. Instruments of the research are the tools that can be used by the research to collect data so that the data collected can be accounted for. So the instruments of the research, it is depend on the kinds of the data. There are two kinds of data, namely qualitative data and quantitative data. Qualitative data, it is non-numerical data that getting from the result of observation. So the instruments of qualitative data, namely observation sheet and field notes. For the first is observation sheet. Observation sheet contains of all of the activities of the researcher and the students that checked by the teacher collaborator to know what the activities that has been implemented or that have been done and undone. And the second one is field notes. Field notes is used by the teacher collaborator to note the strengths and weakness during the teaching learning process or the social event occurring in the classroom. And the second one is quantitative data. Quantitative data is a numerical data, include graphic table and so on. So the instruments of the research of quantitative data is students' worksheet. In this research, to collect the data, the researcher used two techniques, namely observation and test. For the first is observation. The researcher will conduct observation to collect qualitative data. The researcher needs a teacher collaborator to observe all of the activities of the students and also of the researcher, observe the strength and weakness, and also the enhancement of the students' writing skill in real context. And the second one is test. The researcher gives tests for the students to collect the quantitative data. The researcher will ask the students to compose the real context to see whether there is an increase of the students' writing skill or not by using the snowball throwing method. The next is indicators of the research. Indicators of the research are used to determine the success of the research. So, there are two indicators of the research. For the first is teaching learning process is successful if the activities in lesson plan have been implemented to achieve 17.5% until 100%. And the second one is students' learning outcomes are successful if the average of student score and the level of students' learning completeness achieve 17.5% with the score of 70. And the last is data analysis technique. For the first is qualitative data. To analyze the qualitative data, the researchers will analyze it through extraction of data, explanation of data, and conclusion. For the first is extraction of data, the researcher will evaluate and classify the data and also organize it according to the statement of the research. And the second one is explanation of data. So to get the meaningful of the data, the researcher will organize the data in the form of the table, graphic, and narration. And the last is conclusion. The researcher will take conclusion based on the data that have been obtained in the form of the statement or formula. And for the next is quantitative data. In analyzing the quantitative data, the researcher will analyze the result of students' worksheet by using assessing writing, includes scoring rubric, formula, and classification of student score presented in chapter 2. That's all the explanation of my research proposal, and thank you.